let me start by zooming us out just a little bit. ToshiPad is the crown jewel of the council ecosystem. This is not a one and done project. That's, I think, the message more than anything that I want to get across to our community and to the Ordinals community at large. The reason that we've been cooking this thing for so long is that we didn't want to have a flash in the pan. We didn't want to have something that just sparked up and fizzled. There has been so much innovation in crypto in general, and then certainly secondarily recently in Ordinals. And I think everybody knows that the typical arc is that there's a lot of hype, people flood in, people throw money in, and then there's quote unquote winners and bag holders. That's bullshit. That's crap. For actually building tech, for actually making the space welcoming for, not only investment, but the general public, we have to have something that really serves everybody. This is not about investor games and, DeFi, degens, and we welcome all those guys. That's great. But we want something that's actually sustainable, something that genuinely has value flows. This is not a hype-driven project. This is the tech. This is the community. This is the real deal. And so when we were cooking ToshiPad, what we wanted something that focused on long-term value for our users. And so the central goal of ToshiPad is to have a clearinghouse, a central distribution area that people who come into Ordinals, maybe they're OGs, maybe they're fresh from the bull run and this is their first time checking out crypto. We want a place where people can go and feel confident that they're making a wise investment. They're actually getting into something legitimate, right? Everyone realizes that the first time you get into crypto, hey, it's the bull run, you're excited, you start putting money in and you lose it all. Well, why does that happen? It happens because everyone else who's more oriented than you takes advantage of you, right? That's the way that flows. We're entirely against that. We want people to be able to comfortably come in and be confident they're getting a nice project. They're getting to something with some valid tech, long-term prospects. So ToshiPad is a way for people to get hooked into the council ecosystem. And the council ecosystem is that value proposition. It's that way for everyone to come in and get exposure to awesome frickin' tech.
Amazing. Funny detail for nerds, our nodes could run on. Great. Muja, hopefully you didn't get rugged, but that was the end of your questioning because you kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right. Great.
I mean, I can just keep going, man. But
no, I know you can. But the profit in a way. Another thing I want to touch up on is, guys, transparency, right? We know the space. The more information you have in the space, the better the decisions that you make. So for us, a part of bringing a launchpad into the space and having these demo days in a way is to keep things transparent. Is one, how do we get deal flow? How do we get people on ToshiPad? Well, we introduce things like Demo Day, where the connections that we have within the network and all these amazing techs, we showcase it to the entire community. And then there'll be some community votes on projects that we essentially want to list. And then from there, like some of the pitches that you've seen today, you will see them on ToshiPad at some point. I can't promise the exact dates, but they will be there. Now, the way that they're going to launch is a little bit different than a standard launchpad. And this is what my next question, or I want Muja to for you to elaborate, is the value flows, the grant systems that we've taken. This is why things took so long to kind of cook and get us to this place, is because the method of which we wanted to operate was far different than a previous explored launchpad. So let's talk a little bit about value flows. What are we looking for projects that want to launch on ToshiPad?
So everything that launches through ToshiPad is going to be tied into the council ecosystem. And again, the council ecosystem is all about long-term value. And so we wanted to make a launch pad that really linked everything together. So every project that launches through ToshiPad is going to have shared value flows with the other projects in the council ecosystem. Now, what does that mean? Functionally, what happens is that it ends up looking a lot like for instance, Bored Apes. The earlier in you are, the more you get distribution from all of the subsequent projects. So if you're listening to this, you're still early. There's still CNCL out there, the BRC20 token you can get. You can still go buy the initiate PFPs, also called the yellow PFPs, on the secondary marketplace for freaking cheap. And what happens over the course of time is that as we throw in more projects to the ecosystem, and maybe that's too light of a word because all of these are heavily vetted to make sure they have actual long-term value flows, right? There's no rug projects, there's no bullshit, there's no quick exit for investors, this sort of stuff. That's not what we're about. We're about putting together projects that flow value, real world value, not Ponzonomics, real world value into the council ecosystem. And that means it goes into all of the projects. So the more you get into the early projects through ToshiPad into the council ecosystem, the more that you're going to get flows coming from every subsequent direction.
And how exactly, so let's talk about some token. Guys, I know we're a little bit short on time and we've had such incredible jam sessions already. So I want to be cognizant of everyone's time. We'll take another 5 minutes or so about this. Let's talk a little bit about grant systems, how we're allocating the tokenomics side of things, how much we're allocating to different categories and groups and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, I think as a collective, the council can be really proud of how Toshi Token is coming forward, right? We've really taken a community forward, decentralized approach to this. I think rather impressively, to the credit of our due diligence and fundraising team, they pivoted and said, hey, we're not going to take these millions of dollars in VC. And we got approached for that. We had some serious VC money come and say, hey, give us a cut of this at the expense of your community. And we said, absolutely not. That's not what we're about. And so what we have now is we have a tokenomics system that really focuses on our community. We have also a bunch of tokens that are held in reserve. So one of the unique things about the Toshi token tokenomics is that we have a fairly low circulating supply at first that will very gradually dilute, but only when we bring on quality projects. So how does that dilution happen? It happens in the form of builder grants. So essentially, if a builder says, hey, I have this awesome project, this, let's say, infrastructural project that's going to shake Ordinals, we say, yes, we want you as part of the council ecosystem. And we want to tie the value flows, the real world monetary generation of whatever you're doing. We want to tie that in for all of our community. We want them to get the reward of that. So to do that, we're going to give you some proportion of Toshi token in exchange for you tying in your value. So essentially, as the value, the market cap of their project goes up, the market cap of Toshi token goes up, and vice versa. We are looking for long-term engagements, long-term partners, win-wins. And so the tokenomics is geared first towards the community and secondarily for builders. We want this to be a win for everybody. We want this to be an engine of innovation in Ordinals. Pretty hype.
Absolutely. And the reason why I have this illustration up, it's because it tries to capture or encompass the entire vision of the council, where ToshiPad is actually just one of a few core projects that are going to be delivered and built out. And each one of those core projects is launching a project on itself. So ToshiPad is going to bring a series of infrastructure projects that,
yeah, exactly.
Some of them you've heard on here today already. They'll be launched on ToshiPad. So it's essentially every core project ties into the greater vision of the council, which is to push Bitcoin into mass adoption, right? But also
That's exactly right.
Essentially gateway to make sure that we're not tossing out random projects that aren't necessarily a good fit or at all needed into this ecosystem, right? If we've all seen what's happened in the EVM space, we don't necessarily want to replicate that here. So
yeah, we're really seeking to create fundamental value. Again, the term Ponzonomics, I think, is a very, very useful term. And the more that people are educated on what value flows legitimately sustain, the more they're going to be insulated from scam projects. Meme coins are fun. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But really, fundamentally, things have to bring value to users. If projects don't give real world value, then they're going to collapse over time. And so we're really focusing on making sure that everyone who engages with ToshiPad walks away with a healthy bag.
Yes. And I just want to briefly close things up. A quick tutorial on ToshiPad. We are looking to go live very quickly. We're currently in a beta testing. We just recently did a quick little test with our community. It was fun. A new mechanism where if you mint a token that has absolutely zero value, you get on the whitelist for our actual ToshiPad IDO. It's a good way for them to kind of go through and test the entire mechanism. Let me see. So for those of you watching, I don't think I remember my password. Maybe? Okay, cool.
There's a quick question over on the comments on StreamYard that I'm going to pick up just because we have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thomas Sabat asked, who decides for new project to get funds? Part of the value of the council is that it is run by all these OGs, like the fellows who introed our demo day, like Sakamoto and Serge Satz and the architect. And the core people behind the council are what we dub sages. And the point of a sage is to share wisdom. When we look at new projects to onboard to the ecosystem, that's something that's happening from a highly skilled team that vets the hell out of things. We've got an entire due diligence team. We have a legal team. And again, the whole goal here is to make sure that we're bringing actual value to the community. Thanks for that question, Thomas.
Absolutely. Let's take a few more questions. Let's see in the private chat. Not seeing anything in the private chats. Let's check out our Discord here really quickly. I can confirm. No questions there. Essentially, guys, welcome to I really appreciate everybody here. Welcome to our first official demo day. A lot of hard work has gone with the Pitch Talk team, along with a few of our counselors building this whole thing out, getting all of these speakers. I want to thank all of you for being here today, both from the council, from the individual projects. Appreciate you all taking the time to come here and showcase your project. For us, the road is just beginning. ToshiPad is just one of X products that are going to come out to the market from the council. But we really want to lock in and make everything that we build self-sufficient, self-sustaining, because it is coming from a DAO, essentially. That's what we are. So the first official project on ToshiPad will be TSHX itself. We will be kicking things off very soon. There is a countdown timer here. We do have a few other projects coming down the pipelines, and these pipelines, you're basically seeing it live in action right in front of you. Some of the projects showcased here today may or may not end up on ToshiPad itself, but I think they will. Now, of course, everyone's got fantastic partnerships there. If you ever want to kind of come here, jump around, meet the council, you can get to know us a little bit more down here. For anyone who might be watching on YouTube or Twitter that you're not familiar with us, come say hello. We got you. We got our communities out there as well. Everything from Discord. I think most of the action happens on TG and Discord. So happy to see anyone come in. If you have any questions, come jump in, say hello. We got you. That's it for now, I think, Moondra, unless I missed something.
Zam, there's one question that came in, and I hate to destroy your flow because that's a great outro, but it's a really good question that I think is worth addressing.
Yeah,
if you and I maybe want to kind of tackle this and then we close things down. This is a great question from Etsy Ballin. How does Toshi differ from Turtle? And I think it's worth addressing this live because it's a great freaking question, right? People are going to wonder, why would I get into ToshiPad as a launch pad rather than the competitors like Turtle? And ultimately, I want to first point out that we are the well-wishers of all the different projects in Ordinals. And I really mean that. We're not here to compete and cut people down. So I'm not going to talk smack about Turtle. I think it's great that they're pushing things forward. And in fact, you're probably going to see that they do end up launching some of the similar things that we launched. One of the things that really differentiates us from Turtle and other launch pads in the space is that value forward to the community ecosystem. We have a whole back end that is dedicated to vetting projects and making linkages in value flows. So to my knowledge, there is not a similar launchpad, even in EVMs. We are focusing on tying value flows. We're not just a launch pad, we're an incubation system into an ecosystem. That's the fundamental answer. How does Toshi differ from Turtle or any other competitor? The point is that we are taking these projects and we are ensuring their success. We are helping them with all of our OGs who have been in the space for ages. Hey, how can we help you with strategy, marketing, legal, value flows? And we don't bring on anybody unless we are creating tight linkages in value flows. If we're not creating long-term value. So I think the answer is the degree of diligence. That's what really differentiates us from other launchpads. So thanks for that, Etsy Ball. And that's a freaking awesome question. Very, very good thing to bring to the fore there.
Well,
Zam, thoughts on that?
Muja, since I've given out my outro, I guess it's on you now to give your outro. One last thing. Bertrand, tell us about the tiers for the fundraise. I will be posting it later today, so just a little bit more patience. It's going to jump on our Medium, where we'll explain the entire launch sequence of TSHX and the different tiers. So stay tuned for that. It's far better if you read it than us kind of rambling about it now.
Yeah, check out our Git book, guys. We put everything down there. This is something that I think everyone is really going to have the opportunity to have a lot of fun with and get some good benefit from. If you're sitting here listening to this, guys, you're early. Welcome.
Cool. All right, Mudra, it's on you, buddy. Close it off.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us for Demo Day. Expect a lot more of this as we get things geared up. We are going to just keep on having projects, excellent projects, move through the pipeline for our community. Reach us on Discord, reach us on Telegram. Questions are great. Please bring them to us. We're happy to engage, guys. I hope everyone has an awesome day.
Thank you.